Okay, so then you're off season, you're taking during season, you're not taking, you're playing here and there, and then tell me about how you started supplying steroids.
So I just literally, these guys are seeing me get big and they're like, man,
Right.
you're huge. Like, what are you using? I said, I got you. $300. I can get you, 20-inch arms. I can get you bench pressing. I'm like this doctor. They start calling me Dr. O-Dog.
Would you just tell like your closest friends, or at this point were you just really open?
No. I wasn't open about it. It was my close friends. But
Okay.
then word spread like, oh, O-Dog's the man. That's Dr. O-Dog. Like next
Dr.
year,
O-Dog.
they called me Dr. O-Dog because they called me Dr. O-Dog because now I had the fraternity kids coming to me and saying, hey, I can't study for my test. Is there anything you can help me with? I said, Adderall. I'll get you Adderall, get you a 30 milligram. I'll get it from Tijuana. The same place as I'm picking up the
same place.
Yeah, same
Always
place.
The same
Always.
pharmacy.
Pharmacia. So I go
Really?
there and I'd say, hey, I need Adderall. I need Xanax. I need Somas, whatever it was. And then I'd come back and these kids.
Are you butt cracking all of this back to the US?
Yeah, it's all butt crack.
Really?
Eventually, I had to think of different smuggling routes because I got so big. And I remember one summer, I was wearing a sweatshirt covering my muscles, and I had it in my balls and underneath the crack, right?
Right.
And they stopped me. And I knew they stopped me because I was wearing a sweatshirt. It's 90 degrees out.
Right.
It looks weird, right? And they took me to secondary. I was like, okay, this is it. And they go to pat me down. And I'm like, okay, if they go any closer to my privates, I'm going to be fucked.
Right.
Yeah. And then they got close. They got to the waistline and they're like, all right, you're good to go.
Mhm.
But then that's when my mind started to work. I need to start bringing girls down with me. So I'd bring girls down with me. I'd fill them up in their boobs and their underwear. I was like, hey, $100. I'm paying for your trip to Papa's and Beer. And I'm going to give you $100 each.
And then you weren't carrying anything.
I wasn't carrying anything.
How many girls at a time?
2 at a time.
And
Just
at this point,
girlfriends.
what was your profit margins from the stuff you
1,000%
did?
markup.
1,000%?
Yeah. Anything I charged, always 1,000%. So when I bought a $30 bottle, it was $300. When I bought a pill that was $1, I charged them 10. And that's how I did it. So like a Xanax, cost me 50 cents. I charged them $5.
Wow.
An Adderall cost me $1. I charged them $10. And these were good prices. This is USC. This is schools, a bunch of kids with silver spoons in their mouths.
And this, you're a sophomore at this stage?
I'm a sophomore. Yeah.
How much money were you making?
I mean, thousands of dollars a week. It wasn't even about that. It was just trying to keep up with the Joneses. Like in USC, everyone has Mercedes. Everyone has American Express black cards. Like this school is a prestige college that
Because they come from rich families?
Rich families, yeah. All rich. Big, big, big money.
And you wanted the money just so
I wanted to be able to just fit in. Like I didn't fit in. I was going to these schools and I couldn't even, like my freshman and sophomore year, I couldn't even afford to go out on a date because I didn't have money.
Right.
I was like, man, how am I going to fit in? Like, how am I going to keep up? And then once I realized I had that niche and I had a set of balls on me, I was like, okay, this is my niche.
And then what did you spend the money on then?
Just going out. I'd take a girl out. We'd go get bottle service. We'd go to Cabo, like spring break. Like I started to enjoy life.
Did you
Stuff
buy
I've never
cars
seen.
and stuff like that?
I bought one car. I bought a Mercedes.
And
so I could fit in. No, my dad started wondering, like, where are you getting this money?
Right.
My dad owed a USC booster because being part of the football team, there's boosters that help you with cars, and that's
legal,
normal.
right?
It's not legal, but I told my dad that. I'm not even a good player, right?
Right.
But my dad's figuring like, oh, USC is known for that. Like alumni give people cars that are players, and it's normal. It's not like my dad's not tripping, but you could tell he's like, man, like I took him to dinner one time. And I remember buying the dinner and he's looking at me like he's never spent that much money on dinner before. And he's starting to wonder. And I'm like, okay, I got to be a little more careful with Pops.
Yeah. What do you think he would have said if he had found out then back then?
Oh,
what would he have done?
Oh, he probably would have took me out of school. My dad was so strict. But I think my dad knew I had an ambition. He knew I wanted to be part of that life because it's something I've never had. And he's never been part of it, right? He's been working the same job for 35 years.
Okay, so you're there, you're spending all this, making all this money, spending all this money. And at this point, it's just prescription drugs, right? We're doing Adderall and steroids, stuff that you can buy at a pharmacy. Right?
And then everyone, I noticed, I joined a fraternity, and it's the Beta fraternity. I'm noticing, okay.
And what's the Beta fraternity?
Beta Theta Pi is like a fraternity for mostly like water polo players, volleyball players, like surfer kids from Newport Beach, Beverly Hills, like Southern California fraternity.
Is it
it's a fraternity. It's one of the big ones.
Big ones, okay.
One of the
ones that most people want to get in?
Yeah, it's a hard one to get into.
Okay.
My uncle was a Beta, so I already was like grandfathered in because he was a Beta, so it was easier for me. And I noticed everyone's doing cocaine like Monday through Friday.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay. Like I said, I'm ambitious. I'm a kid with this entrepreneur mindset. And I see him paying $100 for a bag of Coke. I'm like, God, that seems so expensive, right? And growing up from a neighborhood, there's Mexican Serrano gang members. I know the business enough because I've seen these guys selling Coke on the streets. And from where I'm from, a gram of Coke's $40, and that's what they're selling it for. So I remember I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to my old neighborhood. I'm going to ask the Mexicans, like, what's the price? What can they give it to me for? And I remember going to back home, and Scrappy, who's the local dealer, and he's like, what do you need? I said, man, these guys are buying grams for $100. He's like, what? I said, yeah. He's like, well, let's fix you up. Let's get you ready. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I'm going to bring you some. He says, I don't want you to drive with it. I'm going to drop it off at the fraternity house. And he showed up and he gave me a styrofoam. Like I thought it was like a burger and fries. And I open it up and there's 8 ounces of Coke. I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do with that? And he's like, here's a scale. Here's the gram bags. I'm going to give you an ounce for $700. There's 28 grams an ounce.
Right.
He says, oh, you could sell it for $60 and undercut the market of $100. And he says, you're still making a
shit ton of money,
300% markup. I'm doing the math. I'm like, okay, well, that's 30 times 6. I'm like 1,800. Dude, I'm going to make like 1,800 on each ounce, and it's costing me $7. I said, man, that's a great profit, right? So I was like, okay, I like it. And he's fronting it to me. He knows I don't have money. So I take that. Now I'm already on the football team, like we talked about.
Can I just say that that's actually a very common tactic they have? They'll front you the money because then you have to sell it.
You're in their pocket, yeah.
Yeah, you're in the pocket.
Yeah. That's a very common. That used to be later on in life when I became this kingpin.
Right.
That used to be my famous tactic. Oh, here's 20 birds, 20 kilos. It's on, just take
it's on
them.
me.
Yeah, it's on me.
Yeah.
But now I'm in their pocket.
Yeah.
And if they lose it, guess what? They owe me for life.
Right.
That's my mindset too. Now I see why these guys do that. Okay, so he comes, he drops off those 8 ounces. And now I'm like, okay, how am I going to move this? Now I'm playing football. We have, in football, in the summer, you have college double days. So right before season starts, you have to go to practice in the morning and practice at night. Mm-hmm. And I remember my roommate at the fraternity, he liked to party. Everyone in the house is partying. This fraternity house is partying. So I went to him and I said, hey, there's 28 grams in an ounce. I said, I have 8 ounces here. I said, here's a scale. Here's the gram bags. This is what we're going to do. We're going to make gram bags and we're going to just put them in the sock drawer. Every 28 you sell, or let's call it 27 because an ounce is 28. I said, every 27 you sell in this ounce, you get the last ounce, the last gram for free. He's like, oh, I love it. He's making $100 and he's not doing anything, right? He's got the whole fraternity there. I said, just sell it to the fraternity guys. If there's like sorority girls that need it, just be safe, right? I go to practice and I come back like 6 hours later and he's in the room and he's on the computer and he spins around. He's all coked up. I go, dude, what's the matter? He goes, buddy, we got a problem. I'm like, oh, fuck, what's the problem? He goes, we're out of Coke. We're out of all of it. I'm like, oh my God. I said, that's a good problem. I said, this is a great problem. And I remember calling Scrappy. I said, hey, I'm out. He's like, no way. So he came back and I gave him all the money minus my earnings. And I said, let's do it again. And it just right there, just people were like, started coming to me, like coming to him because I wasn't even the face. I was this football player. No one even knew. So I said, hey, just handle everybody. So if we have another fraternity that needs it, just go give them like 2 ounces, drop it off so they can sell it. If there's a sorority girl that wants to deal with it, let her deal with it. But let's just start moving this stuff. And we're in this bubble. USC's protected. There's no police coming around. There's only campus security and they're not coming to see if you're selling Coke. It's unheard of. And I just started to do that. And I literally started to be like this black market concierge that no one was willing to do. And because, all these kids, they're scared, right? They're not going to do any of this, but they'll pay for it. Right. And it became a business. And that's where the O-Dog Enterprise started.